I am Hyphen X, and welcome to the Great Conversation, where we indulge in healthy dialogue about topics that are important in today's society and culture. Whew. We are on the tail end of another police shooting. 7 times in the back of an unarmed man. Bang, 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 bang in front of his fiance and children. Riots have broken out. Buildings have been burnt down. And people have been killed. Not by rioters, not by police officers, not by peaceful protesters, but what they are calling a lone vigilante. This was a underaged white male with a legal fire gun. From my reports, I'm hearing that this white male underaged boy was commissioned and working in conjunction with the police department to help keep businesses safe. He traveled across state lines. He had aspirations to be a police officer. After the shots, after bodies on the ground, this underaged white boy with an automatic weapon is walking down the street with police military vehicles coming towards him and people yelling, "Get him! He just shot them! Get him! Him right there! Who? Him!" He was able to walk past. It's always after video footage is leaked that an arrest has to be made. This is the pressure that social media and people's voices in the streets can have. And y'all steady asking why we protest. Steady asking why we protest. In my city, we have a lot of people who are saying that you guys are out here marching for Black Lives Matter and black people are killing black people every day. True. Black people do kill black people every day. We do have a high murder rate amongst our own, and it is something that we need to address. But let me tell you where the two meet. If we were to take the funds that are going towards our police department to militarize our police department versus us, to give them lethal weapons to use against us, if we were to take those funds and reallocate those funds into our communities for accessible mental health, for accessible job channel and vocational training, for not just at-risk youth, not just people that are coming from out of prison, we're talking about opportunities for everyone in the community. Those funds should be available. All that should be accessible from community centers, things of that nature. inside of the communities. All these abandoned buildings around Rockford, we could have a whole bunch of community centers, if you ask me, and training sites for things. We most definitely could. It's not a secret that the Great Conversation podcast has been on the ground zero, City Market, Rockford, Illinois, where Rockford is having its very first civil rights movement. But I don't be out there alone. To the left of me, I got author, community activist, and child advocate, Facerlyn Wheeler. How you doing?
I'm doing as good as I could be.
I thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Why don't you let our guests know who you are?
My most important role is I'm a mother. And I'm a mother of a young African American male. So that makes me a, what's the word I can use? Traumatized individual. I fear for my son, I fear for myself, and I fear for everyone who looks like us. I've worked in the city of Rockford over 20 years, either in social services, at-risk youth, did some time with HIV and Hep C individuals, went off to Nashville and California to do the same. And my current role here is an early Head Start. We got to get them early, but more than anything, we got to get the people who matter to listen. It's too much. I'm disgusted, I'm numb, I'm infuriated.
Now, I do hear the pain in your voice. I hear the concern, and then I also hear the lack of trust. Because when you say we have to get the ones that can do something to listen, I think that you know, like I know, that they know about everything that's being chanted and everything that's being said.
Definitely.
They say the protesters are very clear in what they want. They say it all the time. They chant it all the time. So we need them to do what's best for the most important piece of government, the citizens.
Indeed. I get why it's difficult. You know, having a master's in organizational leadership, one of the things that we learned the most about was change brings fear. And the biggest fear in change is you have to admit that there was error. You have to be human enough to say, we're not getting it right.
Right.
And unfortunately, we've had decades of leadership who refuse to hang your head low for a moment. Like they say, eat the crow, apologize, and then work to get it right.
I agree 125% with that. I believe that is one of the true virtues of a true leader is to admit fault. But not just to admit fault to say that you're wrong, but to admitting fault and be open to solutions and pushing those solutions through. Trial and error. Making a mistake it's not only human, it's divine. Because through trial and error comes strength and perseverance. That's where glory comes from.
Exactly.
Right there. That's where glory comes from. How old are your children?
I have a son who I gave birth to. He's 27. I have two godsons. One is 23 and one is 21.
At what age did they become not little babies, but viewed as grown men where you had to start telling them, hey, gotta kind of watch how you do that. Y'all can't be playing like that. Y'all too.
Yeah.
They gon'.
For my birth son, it was probably age 10 or 11 because he's very tall and he's a bigger boy. You know, every football coach wanted him for the football team, that kid. However, I also knew that represented a bigger threat to his community. And so we had conversations, and my son was with me in the car, pulled over, and racially profiled more than once as a child. And we had to have those conversations in the moment as well. So from middle school, we just hammered it in. Please be careful. And it hindered him in his childhood for the most part. I was a very strict parent. I went above and beyond probably for the neighborhood, just out of fear, you know, not letting these boys go anywhere. Stay in my house. I'll take you home. Can't move after dark. And, you know...
Like the South.
Yeah, it's amazing the conversation that we have to have with our children about those that are supposed to serve and protect. Serve and protect. But yet we fear them. With proper identification, proper insurance. I've been cleared through 2 different driving services to say that my record is great. But every time I get in my car, I fear if I will make it back home or not.
And that's something that no human being should have to go through. We shouldn't have to fear authority. We should have to have a healthy respect.
Exactly.
A healthy respect for things. You're listening to the Great Conversation podcast. We'll be right back. We're talking with Facerlyn Wheeler. Tell us about your book.
Oh, I would love to do that.
Go ahead. Yeah. Pointing right there to that camera.
Alrighty. So it's a real quick read. As you can see, I made it real simple because I know something about my people sometimes. We don't want to sit and indulge if it's not some Facebook posts, no disclaimers on my people, but come on, y'all, help me out. Parenting 911, get the title. That's the biggest thing I want you to pay attention to. The reason why it's Parenting 911 is because I am asking for a call to parents, to individuals in our community who can make an impact in our children, because we know as soon as we bring up the information about the police on black crime, people want to talk about the black on black crime. And so Parenting 911 is that call to my parents to say, let's do our part on our end so then they can't have that conversation with us. Let's save our children how we know how to do. Because there was a time when neighbors were accountable for each other's children. You couldn't do that. Miss So-and-so was going to keep you and get you back home to your parents. And there wasn't all this... what they've led us to do, be segregated and against each other. So my Parenting 911 is a quick read for my moms, my caregivers, my community people, to just remember why we have to protect our greatest asset. Our children are going to grow up, take care of us one day, lead this country, and hopefully walk a different walk than we've had to walk. And it all starts with in the womb, which I talk a lot about that too. Some of us think, children don't know anything until they get older. It's proven that by the age of 2 years old, a child can be affected by a parent being displaced from a job or their housing. So your 2-year-old is affected when you get an eviction notice.
Well, that makes sense because you're human. They're gonna feel that energy. Somebody might lash out on their child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. These type of things do happen. We kind of forget sometimes that children are just little people.
Yep.
Everything you got, they got. Maybe smaller, but they got it.
Yeah.
Tiny humans.
You know what'd you say?
Tiny humans.
Yeah, tiny humans. Now, B, I was looking for the map that you sent me, but it's not in here. I don't see it now. But it's funny that you brought that up because we need to do a better job parenting 911. It's an emergency call. Shout out to the parents. Like, hey, where's your child at? What are you doing with your child? You know what I'm saying? That goes back to being a good leader. Exactly. We have to admit some faults, right? Yeah. We have to admit some faults. So this map that Rockford just dropped, these couple maps here, they're asking for gun violence because there's been a spike in gun violence. And they're asking the public's help. And I shot it. I kind of looked at it, and I was just like, it looks like a lot of these shootings are happening in areas where there's police precincts. Mm-hmm. That's what I was kind of seeing here. You know what I'm saying? Especially over on the Broadway side there. Me, you got it up?
I got it pulled up.
Okay, go ahead. Give us the rundown.
Basically, so what I gathered from the maps is that it was 11 homicides on the east side, 7 on the west side, 27 aggravated battery with firearms on the west side, 33 on the east side. And you can't really count the shots fired.
Yeah. Those are just calls, right?
Verified gunfire incidents.
Okay.
Yeah. They're all on top of each other. It's in the same areas. But, a lot of Rockford people like to talk east side, west side. It's in the center of Rockford. It's happening in the city. It's all over the city. It's not in one spot.
So that's what I'm saying. So we have a police chief that said some disparaging remarks about 16, 17-year-olds are gone and their parents, they're lost cause and their parents have failed them, right? Wouldn't it not be in good business for the city to make sure that its citizens are prosperous? Would that not be good business? Wouldn't that not help crime go down?
Right.
I believe that these people in our leadership positions, I believe a lot of them, the majority of them, because things are not getting done, the majority of them, they are for their own interests. And when I say their own interests could lie with the people that vote for them, but I can guarantee that personally and privately, they're prospering some kind of way. I'm pretty sure if I'm trying my hard. I don't want to be an investigative reporter. I don't want to do it.
Right.
I know what they do to investigative reporters. I don't want to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? But if I was to dig deep enough, I think I know what we'll find. So all these things that are happening in the center of Rockford, like when I was coming up, now keep in mind, I'm 37 years of age. So when I I remember Boys and Girls Club and things like this. But you know what I also remember? I remember when all the programs started getting snatched up out of here. I remember when things started getting taken away. I remember when there was nothing to do. I remember you used to go to the park, and there would be the park district down there making tie-dye T-shirts for kids for free $99.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that exists anymore. When you take away outlets for people to burn energy and to clear their mind, I don't care if that's a bar where they feel comfortable at, a place where they can play slots, or if it's a place where they can play basketball, racquetball, football, play chess, you know what I'm saying? Or just simply just go get a haircut and have a drink and have a good time. When you take away those outlets, people you just leave them piled up on top of each other all the time, there's gonna be natural resistance, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be agitation, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say this, this is not a popular opinion, but I don't look at it as these people are having self-hate and every time they kill another black man, they're killing themselves. No, you're killing another human being, and you need to take some responsibility for that. Yeah. It's not for you to take someone's life. It's not for you to do. And people are out here mad because the protesters are out here protesting and about Black Lives Matter, and they're laying claim that they're not out here protesting because we're out here killing each other every day. Get off of your ass and you go protest. You go do that part. You do that rally call. So you want the protesters to protest for this cause and that cause while you just stay mad? Shut your ass up.
Yeah.
It gets parenting 101. So let's go back to...
I want us to say something.
Yeah,
about,
please, go ahead.
I got you. I'm gonna let you breathe through it because we have to. We got to be each other's anchor right now. I'm beyond hurt. I'm angry, and I'm the most. Everybody will tell you, like, they used to call me the smile coordinator. I'm the coolest person in the crowd. So when you get me upset, it done went too far, and I am upset. My son can't even believe how vocal I've been because I am. I'm the quiet voice. But I want to say, you know, you were talking about the shootings being in close proximity to these precincts. Well, remember when they came up with this great idea of geopolicing in the first place? Failed us, right? It's completely failed. Only thing that I think I've seen to be beneficial in this community is the strong houses. I think that they do give those people closest to them a sense of interaction with law enforcement, so that we can have that conversation to say where people all want us to put this disclaimer out there: not all cops are bad. We know that. And so the strong houses give them that impression. However, when you talk about what's effective, nothing has been effective in Rockford. I've lived in 5 states. Rockford gets it wrong the most. And it was a time when I didn't even want to connect myself with the city that I spent over 20 years in. Wasn't born here, but I raised a child here. I raised more than my child here. But you get so angry to see the way no one stands for what needs to be done. We'll talk about it, we'll text about it, we'll tweet about it, but we don't come together. Like tonight, these basketball players make millions. I've wanted all my life to figure out how to dribble a ball that good because I need that paycheck. But they decided to walk away from those millions to say, you know what? Enough is enough.
Yeah.
And what I tell people when they want to talk to me about the situation all the time, and even Friday when I was there and I just saw the absence of our people. What are you afraid of walking away from? What are you afraid of losing? Who are you afraid of upsetting? Because right is right and wrong is wrong. And if we all decided to do like those NBA players and like some of the MLB players doing and saying enough is enough, you can get change. If we really take a unified stance to say, we're not taking it no more.
And I agree with that. I agree. I agree that if we were all to come together and take a stand, or a collective, a good chunk, a good chunk of us will come together and do that, because everyone knows, I say this all the time on the podcast here, that I'm a firm believer that you don't need everybody. You need the right people. You know what I'm saying? You need the right people to do things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because a little league team could have did it and nobody would have cared. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Let's just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Except for the people that's probably in that community. But I want to back up to something that you said. That you said that not all cops are bad cops. I used to kind of think that same way, because I grew up with Officer Friendly and things of that nature. And I got out here and protest, and I started hearing them start saying that no good cops in an unjust system. And then, as I kept hearing it, it was beating on the eardrum, you know what I'm saying? It was beating on the eardrum, getting into the cerebellum, you know what I'm saying? It was really getting into me. I was like, I get what they're saying. I hear exactly what they're saying. Good cops have to police bad police, because bad police make good cops look like bad police. Yeah. And when I say that, I'm not talking about just pulling good old Brad to the side and, hey, Brad, come on, man, cut it out. No, I'm talking about going and maybe good cops, if you don't want to do it, talk to some private citizens in private and give them the tools and the direction that they need to go to make sure things happen. Be a double agent. Be a double agent.
Yeah.
If that's what you're going to do. Because until I see some good... And when I say good cops, I'm not talking about... And I hate doing this, but we got to do more than play with the kids, make snow cones. You know what I'm saying? Because what is that? What kind of relationship is that fostering? You know what I'm saying? They're playing basketball. I took a picture of a cop playing basketball with a child with a firearm on his side. What is that? What does that teach? What does that teach that child? Because that child was probably 8. So in about 2 more years, he gonna be feared.
Yeah.
He can have that firearm pulled on him at any moment. Bro, I played basketball with you. You don't remember me? Get on the ground. Shut up.
Yep.
You don't remember me, man? Brad, it's me. Bang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is that? That's not fostering anything. Is it a good gesture? Yes. Thank you for the snow cones. Thank you for bringing the Walmart bikes so that the kids could ride those Walmart bikes and then put them back on your trailer. Thank you. We appreciate that for a moment. But in the long run, what does that solve? It's only for a little while. They told you they were focused on kids that are 3 to what? Maybe 14, if that. Then what? Then what? But we also have to play our part as parents. Parenting. 911. The call is out. You said something very important. You said that we have to get back to being a village. And sometimes that village means you got to let me talk to your kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not my baby. Yes, your baby. Yes. Was throwing rocks at cars.
Yeah.
When you wasn't outside watching them. I saw them. I told him to stop. He cussed me out. What you gonna do?
You know what I say? Police your children so the police don't have to.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I may not get it all right, but I know some things that'll help. You gotta police your children. You should not pay that much for a phone that you don't look at. It's certain things. Saturday night, my best friend of 23 years, her son was killed on 10th Avenue. And it's tearing me up to see her hurting like that. It's tearing us up. And it could have been gang involved. Mm-hmm. One thing that disturbed me while being with the family was there's a 5-year-old who's that boy would be his uncle. And the crowd was saying how the little boy was imitating the same gang sign as the deceased uncle. Mm-hmm. And in my mind, being the child advocate that I am, I'm thinking, how can I get these generations to understand if you don't want to be the next mom crying, we got to change that culture. You can't act right. You want to throw these signs up on your page. Let me deactivate you for a while, because we're gonna get into a world where there's gonna be the officer looking at that, and he's gonna say, "See, didn't I tell you you were a threat?" And that's where we got to be careful.
Why do we think children join gangs?
That they get their community. There's no like you said, there's no Boys and Girls Club no more. There's no Gus Macker. Remember the Gus Macker?
Yeah.
Remember the 3-on-3s? I used to dance with a group at the women's club. We used to dance at Levin's Lake. You know, it was stuff going on.
Yeah,
you had stuff to do. Junior achievement. You know, they were paying you. Now they want to go back to the Saul Alinsky thing, where it's just like, let's just keep on funding them to stay where they are. We'll give you more housing to stay in housing. Yeah. So we keep you suppressed and we keep you oppressed, and we'll keep taking the men out of your lives so that your leaders are not there. And of course our kids are going to go astray. So we have to know that we have to give them the family that they need, or they go find one.
So you're saying we have to police our children so that the police won't police them?
And I hate the word police.
No, that's fine.
But what I mean is, you know, you may not be the child's friend every day.
Yeah.
You may upset your child. You may not be the cool parent on the street. If you know that those kids are doing things that they shouldn't be on your yard or in your basement, love on them. Love on them. My son used to tell me all the time, Mom, them kids gonna shoot you. I used to do my own little truancy intervention. I would go and I would see these kids roaming on the street during school time, pick them up. What school you go to? East. I'm getting their little butts to East. You may go in that door and come out the other. Half the time they didn't. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
This lady cared enough to just stop and get on me.
Mm-hmm.
They would say sometimes, you know, I wish my mama would get on me like that. But we trap. We trying to work. We making ends meet. You took the man out of the home. Whatever the case may be, you know, you've stressed the African-American family so much that we can't make child rearing our priority. So now, you know, our children are being lost to the system that the preschool to prison pipeline, you want them on anyway. And if we want to change that, and if we want to get our children back and save our community, then we got to have a hand in it.
My bad.
According to the U.S. Bureau of Justice statistics, in 2018, black males accounted for 34% of total male prison population, while white males 29% and Hispanic males 24%.
39%? My goodness.
Incarcerated.
My goodness.
And only 6% of the population.
It's a lot. How does that happen? Like, I don't even know. Like, I'm not a math guy, right? So I'm saying, in my head, I'm just like, that sounds so improper. How does 6% make up 34%? That's a lot. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. Plus, you have to think about it. Black males only in America only make up like 13.4%, I think.
Yeah.
Of the population.
When did we become the enemy? Like.
Oh, when they couldn't own us no more.
Okay.
That's when it really happened.
I'll take that.
Because, okay, so let's look at advertisement of black people, you know what I'm saying, in this country. So, according to this book by Tom Burrell called Brainwashed, he was an advertising guru for NBC for a long time, and then he stepped away and started his own advertising company and wrote a book. And so he was talking about how the first advertisements in this country were for slaves, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. First automobile, if you will, you know what I'm saying? Like, strong body, strong, doesn't need much sleep, fertile, this, that, and the other. But then later on, when it came for blacks to be free, now we're lazy, you know what I'm saying, have all these kids, you know what I'm saying, have whore-like mentalities, you know what I'm saying, things like that. So the advertisement changed on black folks as soon as they couldn't own black folks, because we didn't have a solid purpose for them. We weren't to their benefit, no, wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? They had to find ways to manipulate that. Like, I think about that because we were talking about that last episode. We were talking about like after the Civil War, Reconstruction, things of that nature. Like when Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, and then he got killed, and then what was his name? Who came in after he got killed? Who was his president? What, the vice president that became president? I can't think of his name right now. He just he came in and he took the 40 acres away, and then he let the prisoners out. Andrew Johnson.
Okay.
Is it Johnson or Jackson?
Thank you. Johnson.
Johnson? Is it?
Johnson.
That's the guy on the money?
No.
Okay, that's a different one.
Different person.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh, I don't know. They all got the same wig on. I don't know. I get them confused.
I just feel bad that I forgot the president's name. That's all right.
But so, and then they took it. They get the they went ahead and they took to let the prisoners out. But you let all these slaves of I'm not even gonna say free. You let them all loose. With nowhere to go, no money, no food, no home. So they just switched the name. So I'm not your slave master no more. I'm your landlord.
Oh.
Now I'm your landlord.
Oh.
The lord of this land. I'll let you live here. This is my general store right here. I'm gonna give you some credit.
Ooh.
Oh, you don't got nothing to pay, so just give me half the crop. You keep a little bit for your family. So it's the same process. Just instead of being tied to the tree, the dog now got the invisible fence. You know what I'm saying? You can't go outside these parameters. You can be happy as much as you feed you, clothe you, everything, but don't go outside these parameters. You know what I'm saying? Because every time we went and we build up big, it's like every time a black town is good and they thrive and whatnot, all of a sudden it's like some white woman always getting raped or something by some black guy all of a sudden, out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like Rosewood, you know what I'm saying? Tulsa, Black Wall Street. It's always because of something happened to the white woman, and white men don't even like white women.
Or they poison the water or pollute the land.
Yeah, that too. Or drop bombs on you, or shoot you in the back 7 times. I get they just find all different kind of ways to do it. Yeah. All different type of ways to do it. It's so, but you know what's encouraging? I'm seeing people speak out. I'm seeing fuel going into people like vehicles, and they're not afraid to put the foot on the gas.
Yeah.
I see momentum building.
Yeah.
I see things happening on the citizen side. I need to see something happen on the government side.
Indeed.
For the government to say that we're going to sit down, we're going to listen to you. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you sitting down, but this is of urgency. Because what very well happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin, could happen here in Rockford as a city market, because they're already deputizing people.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what happens when you start deputizing private citizens.
Yeah.
That's the same thing that happened in Tulsa. The police deputized angry white men with guns and gave them the authority to capture and kill.
Yeah.
On the behalf of the police. Like, did you see that? Did you see that when they had the guy?
Yes.
What you thought?
What I thought was kind of what I said in the beginning. How dare them? How dare them be so comfortable and bold to show us that it is clearly night and day. Not only was he a threat to the public, he was a threat to himself and others. Because if someone that has severe mental health issues were to have had that same scenario, they would have been shot, being a person of color. Mental health issues, on record that this person is schizophrenic and not aware of what they've been doing, they would have been shot. Yeah. Because the thing would have said that doing something like that is a threat to yourself. They look at that as what's called a murder-suicide. But for this Caucasian male, it wasn't that.
He was a hero.
It wasn't that. With a gun that big and a demeanor of, grandiose. He was just, there was no, he wasn't going slow. He wasn't, being non-defensive. And yet nothing. Not a taser. Not an order to drop the weapon.
They just drove right past him.
And it just...
right past him.
They got that on video on multiple angles. On multiple angles.
With people say, hey, that's him. He just shot those guys.
What does that say? What does that say?
And he knew he killed somebody because when they came, he threw his hands up.
Yep.
But when he noticed that they was going to keep going, what did he do?
Keep going.
Yep. Kept it moving.
Yep.
Because they thought he was a blue life. He was a blue life. He was a heavy associate.
It's not okay. And you say, it could easily happen here. I saw opportunities Friday that passed where I thought it was going to happen here. In no time did either of those gentlemen get walked to a police car. They just got turned around and pivoted back into City Market to get another drink.
The police have clearly shown. I'm not blaming it on the agitators. I'm not blaming it on the protesters. The police have shown that there's different sides.
Yep.
The police is not being impartial. They're saying we're here strictly for the protesters. Agitators, they're on our side. Hey, buddy, hey, we just need you to. It's so funny how those communication skills come out when they gotta talk to the agitator. Hey, guy, can I just have you go right over here? Yeah, you can yell as much as you want. Just stay inside the City Market behind us. We got you. High five. Hey, Bob, we're going to ask you to go ahead and just leave now, okay? Or maybe you should just go ahead and go. Or you know what? They don't even tell them. They go, you know what it is? Bob is the one who says, you know what?
I'm going to leave.
I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave now.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have another drink. Sure thing. Have one more drink and get out.
Now, who's to say that gentleman doesn't have that drink and pull that weapon?
Exactly.
Then what?
Because they're the ones down there angry and want to fight. They want to fight. They are ready to fight. I'm not even gonna call it peaceful because it is very loud. It's disruptive, like it's supposed to be. They got drums. They're causing attention, but they're not violent. Aggressive, maybe. In tone, yes. But they're not violent. They got batons, they got guns. They're pressing charges on people because they're wrestling people to the ground. And when they wrestle them to the ground, they scrape their knee. And they're saying that's harm against a police officer.
What do you want them to do? RPD.
What do I want them to do?
No, I'm asking Rockford Police Department.
Oh, yeah.
What do you want angry, fearful citizens of your city?
You know what they need to do?
To do.
Have a snow cone. The police should just come down there with the snow cones. That's what they should do. Because that's just as ineffective as what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
When I heard a black police officer say, "Don't talk to me about being black. I'm black. And I got black sons, and I have to talk to them every day about how to interact with the police." By saying that, you are admitting that there's a problem.
And no offense to anyone who's chosen to protect and serve. I know people who have family members who've done that. Even my friend Letisa, who you mentioned before, her father was a police officer. And we also understand that code of honor that is within those departments. However, something that I faced in my career early on, and I have a godmother. She'll be 95 on the 31st. I've taken care of her for about 20-some years. And one thing that she would tell me right before I would go into whatever board office or organization's office that I needed to give them a strong piece of my mind and walk off my job, she would always say, just go along and get along. Just get your paycheck. Just, let them do what they have to do, and just, don't work for failure. You don't want to be out of work again. When you have a call to a higher standard and you have a passion for what's right and justice, you can't. You simply cannot. I know when I go in this office, that means I may be without a paycheck. But my passion for that justice is so right that I have no choice. I have to take that risk. And so if you know that you're in a system to where your children are safe, then maybe this isn't a system where I want to wear a badge right now. That may be my dream. That may be my future. But are you on the side of the problem or the solution? I've never wanted to be a part of the problem. That's why my resume is 2 pages. So if you want to protect and serve, then you find a community to where they're doing that right. You don't be in a community protecting and serving when you know your coworker is liable to be the one to take your child out. What if you get that call? What if you get that shots fired call, police involved shooting? You get to the scene and it's your own child.
Now,
and you in your uniform, so you still got to keep your code of honor. I promise you.
Is he a thug now?
That's going to play out totally different.
Ooh.
So, my position as an early Head Start home visitor is through the city. And one of my coworkers asked me not long after coming on to be a volunteer police officer, something she does, something she wanted to offer to me because she knows that I like to be involved in the community. I didn't do so. I never got to have that conversation with her, and I will because I know she would understand of why I chose not to. But that what I just explained is the reason why I chose not to. I'll wear a city badge because I know I'm out here affecting communities the way that I choose to see fit. But I'm not going to wear that badge and be a part of a system that I feel like is broken and against me. And why should I say, oh yeah, I want to be a volunteer police officer knowing y'all still going to pull me over and I'm still subject to be racially profiled even if I show you, look, I volunteer with you guys. None of that will matter.
Yeah.
I'm still a nigga.
Yeah. At the end of the day.
Point blank, period.
At the end of the day. And, they do have to come out and say, like, hey, guys, we messed up. But they're not going to do that because to them, they're not messing up because they're playing the game with their own rules. They write their own rules. You know what I'm saying? So it's like how do they word it? Through our own investigation, we found that there was no wrongdoing based on our rules and regulations.
Something I learned this week that I did not know, maybe you know. The mayor's office and the programs that it serves is funded by the police department.
What? That makes sense.
It made a lot of sense
that makes
to me when I heard that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Like, we all know in organizations, if you want change, you have to start up here. Well, if you think about it, that up here is funded by that right here.
They working together. They working together.
And we get so frustrated when people move up and move out. But how do you not? What makes anyone comfortable with raising their child in this city at present day?
Just been normalized.
Too complacent. When he did the 8 minutes and 46 seconds in the presence of a camera. Too comfortable.
I would just like for people in position of power, the city council, that's what I'm talking to. Your voice needs to be echoing what all the citizens are saying. Show me where what the citizens are saying does not benefit the city. Show me where it harms the city. Show me where it does not help with gun violence in the city. Because we've proven that the more police you have does not stop crime. We've proven that. All right, we try to oversaturate. We got all these police officers out here. Well, you're not solving anything. You're not catching anything. You're asking for more cameras. It's not working.
And it won't. Just watch tonight. Tonight they're going to double up the amount of law enforcement in Kenosha. Just watch how that works for them. You bring in more police to an already overly violent situation.
it's gonna die out.
Where are your peacemakers? Where are your mentors? Where are your social service people? Where are your mental health specialists?
The thing about the crime is, it's like, if we could trust the police, we would call the police. But how many of us have called the police and in turn have been arrested because we was calling for help?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's so sad.
How we can't trust y'all.
Yeah.
Somebody called the police and then they the ones that end up going to jail. Oh my gosh, I've seen that happen so many times. So many times. I've seen officers halfway listen to what's going on, but they want to get the name of the person. Cause I do security. It's no secret. I do security. So I've seen incidents where they trying to explain what's going on. The police don't want to hear nothing. You have to say, "What's your name?"
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back. They just want to run your name.
Yep.
That's it. They just want to run your name.
Even if you are the person reporting.
Yeah, they want to run your name. They don't want to hear the story.
Yeah.
What's going on? And then it's always like, "Hey, I need you to calm down." No, talk to your guy. It's like police officers, they don't even communicate at the scene. You know what I'm saying? Like, "Hey, let me tell you what's going on. This guy's a little agitated. He has something going on. Da 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 da. Don't get too close to him." You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's cool. He's cool. You know what I'm saying? He's just upset. It's all sit down, buddy. Calm down. I just got here. Don't yell at me. It's so personal. Why?
Then they get mad when you're yelling. Obviously, I'm upset.
I called you because it's a hostile situation. I'm hysterical. I need some help. I got to deal with your attitude. First, I got to deal with the 911 operator. She mad because I called. You know what I'm saying? Now you here. You mad because you here. You know, you ready to get another arrest because they done told you in your team meeting that everybody needs to at least bring in 4 tonight. You know what I'm saying? We're low.
Another thing is, if we have all these police officers, why, when there are shots fired, it takes so long to even hear or see sirens? Like, I understand, the silent alarm, so you pull up, but it takes them forever to pull up. If we got these districts and everything is in these certain spaces and there's supposed to be so many police officers in this area, what are they doing that they're not going to where the shots are fired?
I know they have these drones now that when the shot goes off, it tells them within I want to say 5,500 feet of where the gunshot was at. Because I remember when I was working at a club, somebody licked some shots off outside, and they were there within. You kind of right. It did take a minute. Within 15 minutes. That's a long time.
A long time.
Yeah, that's almost 30 minutes.
On the ground?
Yeah, waiting.
You did.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, somebody help me.
Yeah.
And now you got to go way across town to the hospital because guess what? Mercy ain't fit to take you.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Then you got to drive all the way out there.
Or the Swedes.
Swedes
been on their job because they got clinics everywhere.
Yes.
Crusader got another clinic they building on West State Street, so they see what was happening.
I don't know what's going on, man. I just know that I heard somebody say something, and they said it was a dead.
Hot.
Okay, we about to wrap it up anyway. I heard somebody say something, and it hit me. They said, "I want to see what change is really happening in 10 years, because we can't stop the momentum." You know what I'm saying? And I don't think. And they doing a good job keeping us fueled up. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? They doing a great job keeping us fueled up. And it's so much more. Yes, the police are killing black people. Yes, the police are killing white people. Yes, the police are killing Mexicans. Yes, the police are killing citizens and getting paid leave, and then it's off their record years later and they get hired somewhere else. This
go home to their families.
Is an abuse of power. That is what it is. The people versus the system.
Plural. Systems.
Systems.
Because most of them are set up to fail us. Most of them. Trust me. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot, man. it be pissing me off. I know that's not proper, but it be pissing me off. I be so mad. Like, and then it's like, I've seen this on YouTube. I'm downtown. I see the police. I see these long batons. I'm like, I seen this on YouTube. I seen this in Birmingham, Alabama on YouTube.
Do you watch them when they're standing there?
Yeah,
They're either they're holding the gun or they're holding the baton.
Yeah.
They're ready.
They want
They
it.
are so ready.
All this for traffic. And while all these police officers working overtime down at the city market, somebody gets shot and killed. Away from city market. All these people down there, and they arrested a woman with a dog that day.
That broke my heart.
She got in one paddy wagon. The dog got another paddy wagon.
And you know what I told my son was,
What?
it's sad now because now they've all shown that we don't matter. Now you're saying if my people join with you, they don't matter either.
Oh yeah, they don't like. I seen a post today. They
Like,
said
wow.
FOBs. Remember, they don't like you neither. That's Friends of Blacks. They don't like you neither. They made up 30% of the lynchings in the South. FOBs, Friends of Blacks. So yeah, they've been showing that because there's been more white people getting arrested than the black people. You know what I'm saying? But once again, I keep saying it. It's the people versus the systems.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it a race war. They're trying. Like, have you watched the news stations, the articles that they're dropping?
They pushing.
They're
Yeah.
pushing the race
Pushing.
thing.
Come on.
They're pushing it. I mean,
Yeah.
I know some white boys and some white girls that done got roughed up by RPD. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
I bet you they're in a certain class though.
Maybe.
Yeah, they're in a certain class because then because once you have like what we talked about last week, you got racism, you got capitalism. Inside of capitalism, there's classism. Classism can trump your racism. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, you white just like us, but you be hanging with them niggas. So you over here with them now. You a FOB. You're a friend of black.
And they don't even try to. I mean, you could drop facts at these people's feet in the city of Rockford. You can drop facts, hard facts, articles, and you know what they will say?
Fake news.
If you weren't on welfare.
Yeah, all the protesters ain't got no jobs. Every protester don't have a job. You know, every single one of them.
They're all broke, living on welfare, collecting unemployment. Everybody's collecting unemployment.
I'm like, a lot of them people at City Market doing the same thing.
Everybody.
I think they accept link at City Market.
Yeah, they
it's
do.
fresh produce.
Yeah, they do.
Better shut up. You gonna mess up something good. You know you want some of this link.
They account for 30. They are on more public assistance than black people.
Yeah, it's just not publicized. That's what I gotta do. I gotta get on that. We need to show everything that's really going on. Well, we about to get up out of here. Facerlyn, I really appreciate you coming on, reaching out and coming on. It was a great conversation.
I enjoyed it.
You got any last words? Stop saying last words. You got any departing words?
The parting words would be to the elected officials. Just admit that it's not right and actively make change.
Effective change. Well, I am Hyphen X, and always remember, you don't always have to agree to have a great conversation. Peace.